The problem is none of those guys are ever saying that.
That's true.
That's the problem.
That's what I was going to say.
That's the problem. We don't hear Shaq calling himself the GOAT. And Shaq does a lot of podcasting. He's on television. He's always talking about other people. Matter of fact, I believe he has Steph Curry as his GOAT right now. So he's never talking about himself. See, when we get to this point, and this is the problem that I have with Bron, is that instead of letting other people glorify you or give you your flowers, or a guy like me come on television that been through the trenches with you since childhood, let me come on and tell the world why you're the GOAT. You sit back and just accept the flower.
LeBron completely doubles down on his controversial stance, confidently asserting that any true all-time great player would naturally select themselves first in a hypothetical all-time fantasy draft. He firmly believes this elite, unwavering mindset is exactly what drives supreme, generation-defining athletes to achieve legendary historical greatness, even though skeptical critics view it as supreme confidence taken a bit too far. This exact psychological edge is precisely what allowed him to successfully survive the immense, unprecedented pressure placed squarely on his shoulders since his high school days, forging a standard of absolute self-belief that very few human beings can ever match. It demonstrates that to reach the absolute pinnacle of competitive sports, you must fundamentally be your own fiercest and most loyal believer, completely regardless of fluctuating public opinions or media narratives.
Recently, just talking about if everybody was you could draft everybody, who would you draft? And he went ahead and said that I would draft myself. This was in a timepiece, and he was talking about I would draft myself, and I feel like all the other great players would do the same thing as well. They would draft themselves.
While contemporaries like Shaquille O'Neal prefer to humbly praise other legendary figures and willingly defer the ultimate spotlight to their peers, LeBron James boldly claims the definitive GOAT throne for himself. This striking declaration instantly triggered an incredibly fierce media storm across the entire basketball landscape, forcing prominent sports analysts to dissect his exact standing in history compared to icons who preferred letting others give them their flowers. It vividly showcases the massive cultural divide separating old-school players who let their actual resumes do the talking from LeBron's modern, self-curated approach to cementing his own legacy on live television. This open self-glorification completely changes the dynamic, inviting immediate and heavy scrutiny from passionate critics who firmly believe true historical greatness must be granted by the outside world rather than being self-proclaimed by the athlete.
LeBron James about to win his 4th NBA championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. Pressure is the word today, and no other player has had or overachieved like LeBron James did over his NBA career.
Yet, Michael Jordan's unparalleled professional resume continues to loom incredibly large over absolutely any historic claim LeBron makes. Anchored securely by 6 NBA championships, 6 Finals MVP awards, and 10 dominant scoring titles, Jordan's completely flawless postseason record remains the absolute gold standard that defines the peak of basketball excellence. Every single time, the conversation naturally shifts toward individual accolades and ultimate, unmatched dominance at the highest level of the sport. Jordan's immaculate finals record halts the debate instantly. It serves as a powerful, undeniable reminder of a legendary, flawless legacy that achieved total perfection on the grandest stage without ever experiencing a single series loss, a monumental feat that stands as the ultimate counter-argument to LeBron's career achievements.
Is never going to be something that I ever will get high or low about, It just doesn't exist with me. I never played against Oscar Robert or Jerry West. Would have loved to. Absolutely love to. Just as competitive as I am. And I actually learned from them, and we, paved the road to the Kobe's and the LeBron's.
Unlike modern NBA superstars who actively shape and manipulate their personal narratives, Jordan rarely campaigned for his own spot in history. He strongly preferred to let his unmatched on-court accomplishments speak loudly for themselves, an old-school approach that many basketball purists believe only strengthens his iconic status as the definitive standard of greatness. By showing deep, genuine respect for the legendary generations that paved the arduous road before him, Jordan successfully cultivated an aura of untouchable, mythical mystique that keeps him perched at the very top of the basketball hierarchy. His quiet confidence proves that sometimes the most reserved approach speaks the absolute loudest when establishing an enduring historical legacy, commanding universal respect without ever needing to ask for validation from the media.
Here's what LeBron should do. And anybody who thinks he's better than Jordan, go take out the tape of every game in the Dallas series when Nowitzki beat him. And he averaged 17 a game, couldn't score in the fourth quarter, and was completely outplayed with a better team, Wade and Bosh.
Critics instantly point directly back to LeBron's single biggest career collapse during the infamous 2011 NBA Finals matchup against Dallas. They vividly highlight how he was completely outplayed in the crucial fourth quarters, averaging a mere 17 points per game despite playing alongside elite superstars like Dwyane Wade and Chris Bosh. For staunch Jordan loyalists, this specific postseason series remains the ultimate career disqualifier, proving that under maximum pressure against an underdog team, LeBron failed to deliver the way a true GOAT absolutely should. It leaves a permanent, highly visible stain on his competitive resume that no amount of regular season statistical longevity can ever truly erase, serving as the ultimate ammunition for those who argue he lacks the cold-blooded killer instinct of his predecessors.
He's got it. Coming to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James, a shot at history. And there it is. LeBron stands alone.
However, his historical excellence remains completely undeniable as LeBron stands entirely alone atop the NBA's prestigious all-time scoring ladder. This monumental historic milestone represents over 2 consecutive decades of elite performance and completely unmatched physical durability, cementing a statistical resume that may genuinely never be replicated in the history of professional sports. To successfully sustain this exact level of elite dominance across 3 separate decades while actively outlasting younger, faster generations is a monumental feat that completely transcends simple media hype. It stands tall as pure basketball history, proving definitively that his argument for the throne isn't merely built on a single hot streak or a brief peak, but rather on an unprecedented, decades-long era of sustained apex performance.
Who you got, MJ or LeBron? You play against both of them in their prime.
MJ.
MJ. Is it like clear cut?
It's clear cut. Everything he does is just masterful, man.
Still, when former NBA peers who actually faced both iconic players in their absolute physical primes are asked to make a definitive choice, the answer remains remarkably clear-cut. For those individual players who witnessed the sheer on-court presence, unmatched competitive drive, and masterful skills of both legends up close, Michael Jordan is consistently named the superior basketball force. Their first-hand, in-game testimonies emphasize a terrifying intimidation factor and a level of absolute perfection in Jordan's game that modern statistics alone simply cannot capture. It goes to show that the direct eye test of those professional athletes who actually shared the hardwood court carries a profound weight that regular season box scores and advanced analytics can never fully replace or replicate.
There are 2 categories in which LeBron James is the absolute GOAT. Longevity. Nobody has been as great for as long as LeBron James has been great
We agree.
for this period of time. The GOAT of longevity, and category number 2, the GOAT of talking about who's the GOAT. He's the GOAT of that conversation.
LeBron reigns completely supreme as the undisputed GOAT of career longevity, performing at an incredibly elite level across 3 entirely different decades of basketball history. Yet, as seasoned media experts note, he is also the absolute master of fueling this eternal sports debate, ensuring his name stays firmly at the center of the sports universe forever. By openly crowning himself on television, he knowingly invites intense, microscopic scrutiny over his entire career narrative, transforming a simple interview quote into a massive media spectacle. This deliberate tactical move forces fans and sports analysts alike to endlessly re-examine every single milestone and career flaw, effectively ensuring that this timeless, passionate basketball argument will never truly be settled.